The IT sector, and more specifically software engineering, has been booming in the past years or so. Everybody sees a person behind the screen, clicking buttons and having their headphones on, typing in their personal computer and envy them. I could be that person, they say. I could do what they do. People think you're doing something easy, something everybody can do. But is it really like that? What's the harsh reality of being a software engineer? So there are many times you'll be juggling in different projects. You might have, for example, 2 or 3 or more projects at the same time. You might lose track of what you're working at the moment. And this might be hard from time to time because you go back into a project and you can't remember why this was there, why this specific part of code, how this is working, and all this kind of stuff. So this means that you're pretty much trying to figure out what's of highest importance every time. And this might be hard, especially when you're not being told of, this has the highest importance, so you have to do that next. It would be hard for you to decide, especially in the earlier stages of your career. So this brings us into the second point of this video, which is if you're working into multiple different projects at the same time, you might not actually feel the sense of completion. And you will know what I'm talking about, especially if you had a project before. You want this project to finish at some point. You don't want to keep doing stuff and then they add more features, more enhancements. So this project is a never-ending project. At some point, you want to change a project, you want to change careers, maybe. You end up losing your motivation. And there are a lot of times that you're getting burned out. A recent study from Haystack Analytics has found out that around 83% of developers have actually burned out in the past couple of years, or they felt the sense of burning out. So you can't concentrate on what you really want after that. And this is actually a pretty good fix for procrastination because you're doing everything else that you left behind and you're not doing your actual job, what you really want to do, what you really have to do. So this has happened to me before as well, over and over. So you have a project you're working on and you're adding features and features, enhancements over enhancements. This project never ends. You want the project, especially freelancing projects, at some point to end. And this actually brings us to our next point here in this video, which is dealing with bad managers. So there are 2 cases in this one, 2 sub-cases I would say. One is working for a company and one is when you're freelancing, because even if you're freelancing, your boss might be your client actually in that case. So there are some managers out there that they don't really care about your personal growth or what happens in your life. You might be having a hard time, you might be having a divorce, you might be having someone died in your family or anything, and you want more, but those managers don't really let you do that, right? They want the project to finish and they don't care about anything else. Even if the company is not theirs and it's just, an employee, as you are, this doesn't matter for them. They think that if they work more and then finish the project more and they don't have some kind of empathy between you and them, that they will get, a promotion or a raise or something like that. You really have to think about the human side of things, even in jobs, because the people that work for you are actually the most important asset you have. Another thing that some managers do is that they take credit for what you do, all your hard work that you put in, you stayed over time. And then they go ahead and say that, you know what, I finished the project, this was on me, and nobody else helped me, and they pretty much take credit for everything, right? And this is very bad. You want to be a leader, and not someone that you're trying to force people to follow you. There are some companies actually there that they are setting some unrealistic goals over the year, and they're saying that if you hit that goal, you're gonna get a bonus or a raise or anything. And they know that you will never hit that goal because it's unrealistic, because you have to work overtime, you have to work over the weekend, you have to abandon everyone, your family, your friends, and only work on this project in order for this to be achieved. And they know that some people will most likely do that. So you might be having a manager over your shoulder that is not tech savvy at all, and it's not into software engineering at all. And because of that, and because they are not tech savvy and they're not into software engineering, they might ask you, for example, to change something in the page. And the thing is simple, there's a whole process behind that, a whole concept. And you need to change everything that you did, for example, for the past week or so in order to achieve this change. And they think that, come on, it's easy, right? And this also applies into freelancing as well, because you have clients that they don't actually know what you're working on or how you work on that. They don't care about patterns. They just want their feature or their enhancement on the project you're working on, but they cannot understand that it's not that easy and it might take time and money, of course. So there are many cases that those clients or those managers are overestimating the project that you're working on, right? Which means that, for example, they tell you to build a new feature, which might take a week. You know it will take a week, but they always estimate that in 2 days. or 3 days. And then you have to leave everything aside, work overtime. Most of the times you're not even getting paid for overtime in many companies, especially in my country, but I know other countries as well do the same thing. And you're pretty much getting edgy. You don't want anyone to talk at you. You have to finish the project because you think that this is your life. For some reason, they pass this mentality to you, and you think that this project is your life and nothing goes beyond that. And there are many cases that you neglect your family, your friends, your kids in order to finish what your clients or your managers say. And this is not right. And in our sector, software engineering, I'm sure that you can find a job very easily. If you don't find a day-to-day job, you can freelance. And then if you don't freelance, you will find something else. This is like I told you in the beginning, this is a booming sector, and there are many opportunities out there. Opportunities that we want to keep you in the job, and they want you to be happy. And showing empathy, especially for your employees, is very unique. And not all companies do that. So we mentioned about one of the most important factors of being a software engineer is very harsh, is that overtime. For example, a sales representative has overpromised the client that that you're gonna get your feature, you're gonna get your product out, but they don't consolidate that with the developer team. And this is very bad in various situations, because it means that they promise something that you have to work on, and you're not gonna get paid most of the time. And if you don't do that, for example, you might have a mortgage in your house that you want to pay, or you might have kids, and you're thinking that I can't lose the job. And this is where the problem starts. And this is true because you need to pay your mortgage, you need to have food on your table for your kids, you need to have food to live, you need to have your basic needs, and they're trying to manipulate you into thinking that if you don't do that, you're gonna lose everything. And this can also be achieved through the toxic culture in the company. For example, there are people there that, you see them, they're staying late, they're staying overtime, and you're saying that I have to do that as well, because if I don't, they're gonna point fingers at me. And then I say that, you know what, Harris left early today. Harris is not a good employee, so you get cut out. Which brings us to the last point of the software engineering life. You need to be able to keep up with the latest technological trends, which means that there are new languages almost every day. At least there are new frameworks every day for the languages you're working on, which means that you have to keep up because, for example, let's say that your company is working on an old legacy project and they're using old language, for example, an older version of a language. This means that you won't progress. And this means that if you want to change jobs at some point or look somewhere else for a different project, this means that you won't be able to because you won't know the latest trend. You're getting out of touch of what's coming into the technology sector, especially in the software engineering, because everything goes so fast. Technology goes so fast. Languages come and go, framework languages come and go, patterns come and go. But if you're not looking into the latest releases and latest frameworks and everything, then you won't be able to keep up, which means that someone else that kept up with the latest changes will be hired instead of you. By the way, we have a video up here that we talked about the best languages in 2022 that are gonna help you land your dream job, and I really hope that helps you. So have you come across a similar problem? Let's discuss this in the comments below. And if you like this video, you're gonna love this one right about here, in which we discuss the best coding side projects for beginners so you can build your portfolio. Thanks for watching. Bye.